every athlete, every person, every human being has an opportunity. Some opportunities don't come when you want them. But if you're prepared, good opportunities can happen. Always be ready, because you never know when your number is gonna get called.
I'm not coming back.
Emmy Apparel. Encourage me. I'm young.
Calvin T. Mann, leading Emmy, served over 20,000 youth through speaking, coaching, and mentoring. He has inspired us for years. Welcome to Emmy TV Podcast with your host, Calvin T. Mann, the Encourager.
Welcome to Emmy TV, Put Your Family First podcast. Today, our process is designed to have a conversation with guests and listeners. Content is shaped to the benefit of learning and growing us into healthy families. Our message is awareness, perspective, action steps, consideration, new information that supports and empowers families to use the information shared. I don't know why she gave me that, but she did.
That is correct.
Welcome. So today, all right, we would like to get into this right away. I'm over here with this Bay.
NutriBay, yeah.
We in here with the Bay. Right? And it's fire, right? So first of all, good afternoon. Our host, Heather Root.
Hello, good people.
Yes, in the building. Our digital disco designer is in the building with us today. How you doing, sister?
I'm great.
Good. Right, and so I guess the topic of the day is going to be about healthy, delicious. We got a special guest in here dropping some bombs with this. Hey, this might be the best smoothie a brother has had.
Yay.
And I don't have no problem saying it. And I've had smoothies.
Mm.
But this one was good for me and to me.
Sure.
And so we're going to bring to you our guest today, Miss Sasha Nix from NutriBay.
Hello, everybody.
Good. So Heather, you're gonna get right into this, and right, we're gonna have some conversation. But before that, I got to share a quick story. I always got a story, right? And so today, I walk into the school with the young man. Mm-hmm. Now, this young man in particular, right, always there. Like out of 3 schools, this kid is always there. Like it was 2 of them, and the one missed today, he didn't even miss, right? So we're having a conversation, and I'm explaining to him, we were having this conversation about his health, and what's his routine, what is it like, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're going through the conversation, so then, he goofing off the phone everywhere. I closed the door. Hey, my man, you in school every day. Mm-hmm. Why not win all the way? You know what I mean? Like, you see, you the only one in the school every day. Everybody else is goofing off. Why would you follow that? When you are winning by showing up every day? Let me tell you how important it is for you to show up every day.
Ooh, come on, somebody.
Right? You are literally winning. But when we talk to you, you said he was talking about his dream. This is what I say, man. All right, let's see if you did what I set you up with before the holiday. Come on, give us 20 push-ups. Dave say do 10. Just do 10. I said, Dave, he ain't touched the push-up. You could tell by his shoulders, right? His shoulders is round off like me. I'm an old man. My shoulders round off. They not square like they should be, right? When you young, your shoulders are square when you doing push-ups, right? It automatically happen, right? So here he is. He like, oh, man, let me call my grandma. I said, man, didn't I tell you about lying? I told you I'm not the one to lie to. Oh, hold on. I'm going to show you, Mr. Man. I'm going to show you. I'm going to call my grandma. Man, he called his grandmama. He said, Grandma, didn't you see me do them push-ups in your room? She said, what push-ups? You up there telling lies again? You ain't no push-ups.
He gonna bring grandma into it. He know. He know he
I
wrong
said, we
for that
already
one.
know, Grandma. I said, we already. And so that was the story. But he caught that. He caught that. I was able to move him into the routine because he'd been hesitant about the work that we do. So this allowed me to move him into his routine. So good for him. We gonna find out. I told him every week we gonna find out we checking in. So next week when we come in, you better have done. What's this? 2 times 7 today, Monday. So Monday when you come in, it should be 1,400 push-ups on the deck. I got 11-year-olds doing that. I'm sure you can give me that same 1,400.
That's a lot of push-ups.
Yeah, but that's 200 a day. And for a young man, by doing so, it'll allow him to focus. That's the point of the push-up. A lot of people think, oh, man, you just got me doing a push-up. No, the push-ups is allowed to prepare you to get you a place of focus. With that being said, Ms. Heather?
Well, thank you. And, I appreciate you sharing that story because, I like these segues into our topic. So, the lesson that was being taught was wellness and the connections to wellness and all the different ways that we can help make ourselves well, we can help make our families well, and our communities well. So you kind of covered all of that, especially when he brought his grandmother in.
Oh, he brought his grandmother. Grandmama was like,
right.
What?
She said, I'm not co-signing. I'm not co-signing that.
Right.
Yeah, but the awareness is really important that we are doing things, even small things, wherever you can make those efforts. And because personally, a lot of my work is, sitting at the computer, doing that kind of work. So I make sure when I park, I make sure I park a distance away. So I'm not ever taking the first parking space anywhere. I try to park as far in the back as possible, so it'll force me to walk. I pace myself when I'm walking. I make sure that even at home when I'm working, we have just a few steps. So I make sure I take the steps a few times, and I go up and down the steps just because I know I have to offset my sedentary work. And I have to make sure that I try to get up at least every hour, once an hour, and stretch, move my legs. So I'm real conscious about that in terms of my wellness. And, I know it's good for your circulation, too, especially if you sit for long periods of time. So trying to make sure that we're looking at our health and wellness in new ways and new perspectives. I'm so excited. I not only do I know Seisha, and she's actually has been a part of my family and my journey. Our paths have crossed multiple times. She was my son's piano teacher at one point. So, and she's my sister at another point. And so we've crossed paths. And when I saw her at the Northwest Art Gallery, I think was that the last time I saw you?
Yeah, it was.
And I was really excited when she was talking about her business. And I know if Seisha's hand is on it, it's going to be good. And so she wasn't a disappointment when she bought the smoothies in today. So I thank you for that. And we're going to talk more about that. I want to talk a little bit about some of these points around nutrition and how it's affecting our children, especially, we always look at our boys because they're our seeds, how it affects our whole family, but we want to focus in on kind of some things that affect our children. So, as always, I look up do some research on some of the things that we need to pay attention to. And so I pulled up an article that talked about the top 5 foods that affect children's moods and behaviors and what to do about it. So I'm going to give you the top 5 that they listed. Number 1, which is Calvin's nemesis, is sugar. 2 is artificial colorings. 3 is dairy. 4 is additives. And 5 is sweeteners. But what I like about this particular article is that it talks about what you can do or what you can do as an alternative. And so it says about sugar, that too much sugar makes children hyperactive, frustrated, and angry. Now, I did not realize that that was an effect of sugar. The hyperactivity was one of the things, but to make them frustrated and angry, I did not know. Did anybody else know that? Am I the only one that learned that for the first time today? That sugar can make your kids frustrated and angry.
Did you know that, Special Miss Guest?
So the hyperactivity could definitely lead into frustration and anger because children already have energy, right? When we get older, it seems like we lose that spark, but they have the imagination. They don't have to worry about the bills, so everything they want to do is already fun. The dopamine is flowing, and what sugar does is it pours dopamine, it dumps dopamine. So when that wears off, they have like a crash, right? Just like we would have a crash off of caffeine, things like that. So yes, it could cause agitation. And that's why it's important to not give them sugar. I don't have children, but if I did, I wouldn't buy them candy. I would more than likely make it from fruit at home. That way the sugars that they're getting are natural and there's more of a balance, and it doesn't spike their blood sugar and it doesn't cause that hyperactivity.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So, that's funny because my sister used to make peanut brittle. And she couldn't cook anything else, but she could make peanut brittle. And she made everything from scratch. So I never thought of...
And it has sugar in it.
Oh, I'm not sure what she used.
It has sugar in it.
I'm not sure what she used, but the fact that it was homemade took out some of the other additives that are typically in
That's
those
for sure. Yeah.
It was
So-
made at your house with your sister.
Who happens to be the one that's nutrition conscious. So,
So it's,
yeah.
And she likes sugar.
Well, I don't.
He coming for sis.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that doesn't like something sweet. Now it may not be
And Stacia,
sugar.
you see how that pause jumped in there? That pause jumped in there like it was a punch.
So they also suggest what you can do is to lower your amount that they consume. So remove sugary drinks. Switch to water, which is what we do in our mentoring program. We don't offer them juice or pop. We have them drink water, straight water. And if they don't like the taste, to try to make it fun by infusing fruit into the water, flavor the water, which is, I think, a great idea.
We might have to turn them out with these NutriBay.
Right. We have to get not a subscription. Well, yeah, a subscription. I guess that's
Or a case.
Okay.
Right. And it's fresh, so don't get me started. Okay. All right. So the second item is artificial coloring, another food that alters a child's mood. And it says the bright colors in kids' foods have been linked to hyperactivity, ADHD, anxiety, and depression in children. Those bright colors don't come from beetroots, blueberries, turmeric. Instead, most of them are derived from petroleum. The worst offenders are, here we go, if you have your pen ready, write these down. It's E129, E122, and yellow E102. They have classifications for how they are coloring our food. And it's not, I guess I just made assumptions that if, it's those colors that it came naturally from, our fruit colors. Our foods, but no. Have you experienced that on your journey, Stacia?
When I came up, and I'm seeing that it's still probably the number one snack is hot Cheetos. Now it's Takis. There's that Blue Lake 40. The Blue Lake and the Red 40 and all of those different things. So I would see those things in the ingredients, but when I was younger, I'm eating what's trendy. I'm eating what I'm seeing the other children eat. That's what I'm supposed to eat. This is our junk food. This is how we bond. These are the snacks that we share at lunchtime. So, no, when I was younger, I wasn't thinking about these things. But my mother is a nurse. So, I was reading nutrition facts as I got older. As she would, make changes in our household. I would start to pay more attention. I'm like, wow, look at all these colors. Your favorite chips, your Doritos, your hot Cheeto, all those things have these artificial flavors in them. Why? Because they're not real food. So you can't expect engineered foods to have real food coloring. See what I'm saying?
But I mean, if you don't think about that, I never really thought about it. You're just enjoying a snack, not necessarily examining your snack.
Yeah.
But I see why it's more important now. I'm going to look at some of the snacks now and see, do they actually have those on the label? Is it actually E129 on your labels?
It'll be at the bottom of it more than likely, because it's the least amount as far as ingredients of the actual composition of the food. So if you look towards the bottom of the ingredients list, you'll probably find the colors listed there.
And they just did a movie on my man they came up with the hot Cheetos and the information, and it was straight chemical.
Yeah, it's very little real food ingredients in it.
They didn't
It's
even
made
believe
from
it. He was a
petroleum?
janitor. Dude was a janitor at Cheetos
Wow.
and came up with that.
Wow.
Don't get me the preacher.
Well, it said what you can do is you can swap out shop-bought snacks for Whole Foods. An apple, tangerine, a handful of blueberries or walnuts are great treats. Of course, there are other companies. What do you think about dried fruits? Like the banana chips, and I know it's a healthy mix of like nuts and dried fruit. What do you think about those as alternatives?
You have to be careful with dried fruits because they often come with added sugar.
Oh, okay.
Added sugar, and it's something that you could easily look at the label and take a look at. Always look at the labels, read the ingredients on the back. What they do is they draw you in with the words on the front. It'll say all natural. You're thinking it's healthy, but once you turn that package around, you'll see added cane sugar, sucralose. You'll see high fructose corn syrup. You'll see some form of sugar. And if you don't want to read through the ingredients, which you should, because you should see easily identifiable ingredients. You should see real food ingredients. You start seeing things you can't pronounce. It might be a chemical or it might be a vitamin. And 9 times out of 10, if it's a vitamin, it was enriched, which means they use synthetic vitamins to put back in the food. But when you look on there, you'll see if sugar is added by looking for the added sugars under the nutrition facts. It'll be under the carbohydrates.
Okay.
Yeah. But dried fruit is a great way to, get your fruit in, and it's a great way to add healthy calories. You just don't want it to have added sugar.
I saw a function on my air fryer that said that it would dehydrate.
Ooh, you got one of those.
I've never used it. I've never tried to dry out my own fruit. I'm too busy eating it before it have a chance to dry.
Hey, everybody.
My fruits and vegetables get eaten. They don't have a time to do that. Right, but I would like to try that. Do you think that families that have access to those types of things, do you think experimentation is or what do you think about experimentation with your food? I should ask that.
You know what? We are too grown out here. We take ourselves too seriously. I think that we all should play with our food more. If we did, we would have a better connection for it. When we were younger, we were scolded for playing with our food. You sit there, you eat what I put in front of you. If you don't eat that, you got to eat it again tomorrow. You don't get up from that table until you're done. You fall asleep because you playing with the peas on your plate because you don't like them. That was like liver for me. I did not want to eat liver, and I didn't want to eat beets. But now that I'm grown, I still don't eat liver, but I'll definitely
Eat some beef.
I'll eat some beef.
Right.
But the thing is, especially if you have children, give them a variety. Put it in front of them like you would a box of Crayola crayons and say, okay, here's some green, here's some orange, here's some red. Let them touch the
Viola.
food. Let them pick
Beloved.
it up and feel the texture. Sometimes it's not about what a food tastes like to us. It's about what it feels like, the mouthfeel, which is why engineered food is so dangerous, because they know exactly what our bodies want to feel when we put that food in our mouth. We want it creamy, we want it crunchy, but we get all of that from where? Nature. Carrots are crunchy. You know, soursop, that's going to give you a soft, juicy, all these different fruits, if we just play with them a little bit and our vegetables play with them, we'll get a better relationship. And I think that's important, especially for children, because now you're putting the choice in their hands. You're not saying, here, you have to eat this. And now their relationship with that food, oh, my mama used to try to force me to eat that when I was younger. I don't like that. It's not that you don't like it. You never truly experienced it.
That's good. That's a good insight. That's a good insight. All right, so number 3 says dairy. Another food that your child might be sensitive to is dairy. Many children have difficulty digesting dairy and could cause mood swings and headaches. Any thoughts on dairy products?
Absolutely. So I used to mix formulas for the babies at Children's Hospital, and a lot of that formula is made of corn syrup solids, and it's made of whey and all these different dairy proteins. Children, well, babies, they have the enzyme to actually break down dairy, but as we get older, we lose that enzyme, and so we're not able to digest it, and it causes digestive issues. And the thing about that is, you don't only have to worry about the milk sugars and the milk proteins. You have to worry about the growth hormones in it. We're not baby cows. So those growth hormones are different from what we require as human beings. So I would not give my children cow's milk. I would not give them dairy. That's just me. If I know that it's potentially going to cause issues with their digestion. Some people are okay with it, but most of the time they don't look like us.
What do you think about, because they do mention in this article some alternatives. They went to goat milk, sheep milk, or alternatives like nut milks, like almond milk and yogurt milks.
So I think dairy, I don't know, it's weird. I think that it's not necessary in our diet. That's my personal opinion. But when you do the nut milks, you have to be careful, because once again, you got to look out for things that'll poison us when we go to our local grocery store. You have to be careful because there's emulsifiers and flavorings and all these different gums that also could disrupt your digestion, could mess with your stomach. So they do that in order to keep things from separating. They do it to give you, once again, that creamy mouthfeel that you're looking for. They do it so that it preserves the milk, because if you were to go home and make your own nut milk, it might last for 3 days, and where's the money in that? I need it to last for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So when you go and buy almond milk, and you go and buy cashew milk and oat milk and coconut milk, there's added sugars. You have to be careful with that.
Come on, sister.
You'll on the front, and just a quick reference, just a quick tip. If you are going to go and get these milks, on the front you'll see a calorie level. You'll see it say 60. You'll see it say 80 or 90. That if you see it say anything above 60, more than likely there's sugar in there. So you have to be careful with the almond milks. It's easy to make nut milk at home. You get the nuts, you add some filtered water to the blender, you blend it, and you strain it. And if you want it extra creamy, you strain it again, and you squeeze the maybe the cheesecloth or whatever you're using. If you want to make it sweet without adding sugar, you can use some dates if you want, or you can use honey. You know, you get to choose what sugar goes in there. You get to choose how much. And then if you want it to be vanilla or you want it to be spiced, that's when you go ahead and you add your spices. You add your vanilla. And so that's how you make nut milk. And then you can put it in whatever you want. Put it in your pancakes, put it in your... Make it at home.
That is amazing.
If you don't have time to do that, which it literally only takes like 5 minutes, and then you can store it and do whatever you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have just liberated me.
I make my own nut milks.
You have
at the
just
crib.
liberated me. You have liberated me.
Make your own nut milks.
Right.
And if you're allergic to nuts, for my people out there allergic to nuts, go ahead and get you some flax. Go ahead and get you some seeds and try that. Or if you want to be even more lazy than that, let me tell you what you can do. You got some peanut butter? You got some almond butter at the crib? Take a scoop of that, throw it in the blender, filtered water, you got milk.
Wow. That is incredible.
Just like that.
That is incredible. You gotta know the right people. You have to know the right people with the right information.
We got this.
Yes, and now I do. I feel much better. Look at Calvin. He's gonna be the poster child for Nutra.
Please be the poster child for NutraBay. I need people to come pick these smoothies up.
Oh yes.
NutraBay. The strawberry banana was out of this world.
Ooh, strawberry lip smackers for the win.
The lip smackers.
Sweet.
Although I won't do mine, there's too many boys smacking their lips, but me, I'll make mine from the 70s.
I can't. And I won't.
You know you don't want no man sit next to you talking about, you know what? You be like, what the?
Sometimes it's involuntary. You don't get to say whether or not you smack your lips.
Behavior, for sure.
You can't even do it right. You right. You can't even do it right.
No, this is good.
So we have two more left. So additives is the second. I mean the number 4. It says additives is in ready meals such as nitrates and MSG might cause behavioral changes including hyperactivity, aggression, anxiety, and headaches. And it says what to do. It says first read your ingredients. As a general rule, try not to feed children any products with ingredients that you cannot pronounce. Yeah. So the last one is sweeteners, and it says artificial sweeteners are a poor replacement for sugar. Artificial sweeteners are chemicals that taste sweet but contain no calories. Ironically, they increase your appetite and can make you gain weight. They may cause tummy upsets, anxiety, and have hyperactivity. It says what to do. Replace sugar with stevia, maple syrup, honey, or palm sugar. Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
What's palm sugar?
I've never heard of palm sugar.
It comes from the palm plant. Like, you ever seen palm oil before? Like the red palm oil, same plant.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously, that's not quality. Palming your sugar just can't be good for you.
Well, as we just got a little warm with Sasha, and she's dropped all this wisdom and amazing information, let's get to know you a little bit better, Sasha.
Alrighty.
Talk a little bit about, just really a little bit about you, how you got started on this journey. Where did it start? Where did it start for you?
So I was really, really busy. I'm always taking on 1,000 projects. I have a lot of interest in a lot of different areas, and I was always busy. I was not nourishing myself properly. I would wake up and I'd get something on the way, which most fast food is trash. And it was starting to take a toll on the way I was feeling. So I began to make smoothies because there were days I'd wake up, even if I didn't know what I wanted to eat, like I had no appetite, I would go ahead and make a smoothie, and it was always the answer. So I would start to make these blends and then share them with my busy friends and family members, coworkers, and then everyone was like, you need to sell these. So, with the extra push from my best friend, I went ahead and took the smoothies to Detroit neighborhoods who had little access to minimally processed foods, and they loved them. They said, "Oh man, this is really flavorful." And then I blew their mind when I told them, "Hey, there's no sugar in these." They're like, "What? No sugar?" Now that also deters people with a sweet tooth when you say it's no sugar. Well, what do I want that for? But then I had to let them know, like, what you eat affects your health, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how it started. I started making them for myself, and then it spread.
Praise God.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So how would you say, now you mentioned a few things about how it connects to your beliefs. So believing that there are healthy alternatives, believing that this is a way to nourish yourself without some of the processing that we often face with fast foods and those things. Mm-hmm. Now, what other of your beliefs would you say in that helps to feed your business and those people who you care about?
It comes down to my values. I value integrity, and I value a mind, body, spirit connection. No matter, what you believe in, I believe that there is a higher power. And before we started building this concrete jungle, we had everything we needed for the most part, and we had a greater connection to the earth. So my principles are to keep it simple, keep it clean, and keep it natural. And that's what I do my best to do when it comes to what I feed my mind and my body and my spirit.
Come on.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So tell us about your career journey. What were you doing before NutraBay?
I was doing all types of stuff.
What was like Sensatious journey
before
like?
NutraBay? How much time you got? Okay, so I came up in the health field. I was a certified nurse assistant, taking care of my people who were elderly and disabled. I was a nutrition care technician at Children's Hospital, mixing formulas for the babies. I was a case manager for people with disability working at One Love Home Care. So I would get people paid for taking care of their disabled friends and family members. What else did I do? That's what stands out the most. The other jobs I didn't really stick with. I dipped out on them. So yeah, it's been a journey in the healthcare field, because that's what always pulls me back in, is making sure I have some type of way to make a difference in the way people feel.
Oh, blessings. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I forgot. I'm a doula. I was doing some birth work for a long time. That's a huge part. Actually being a birth worker, talking to the moms, being there, bringing babies into the world, helping them with, breastfeeding, which is our first form of nutrition. So glad I remembered to mention that. But yeah, I'm a birth doula as well.
So with that birthing doula thing,
birth worker, birth coach.
Birth worker, right? When you go through that process, how, and this is just me off the record, right? How much is the male involved in that process?
Unfortunately, and that's a great question. Unfortunately, the male is involved. Sometimes we don't need him to be involved because he's not. The involvement isn't adding anything to the experience. Then there are times where the male is there and he's actually, as a doula or as a birth worker, I like to use the term birth worker because doula translates to female slave or something like that. So as a birth worker, my job is to support the mother and help the partner, whomever that may be, support the mother during the birthing process. So there's been times where the men have shown up and they showed out. He's right there rubbing her back, helping her reposition, getting in the shower, keeping water on her, making sure she has her essential oils around, talking her through it, being physically there as her chair or as her wall to lean on, things of that nature. That's what I love to see. Speaking for her when she can't speak for herself, things of that nature, making sure that everyone speaks to what she spoke to in that birthing plan. You know, so there is it's two sides to it, but we hope to see the latter more.
Okay.
Blessings. So I want to talk about some of the things that inspire you. So we got a glimpse of those things. On a deeper level, on a community level, what are some of the things that inspire you?
People like you. People like Mr. Mann. Because what we need to do is let people in our community know there still is community. Unfortunately, we are so self-absorbed. We are on our phones. We don't know our neighbors' names. I remember I used to know every single neighbor, you know, whose house was on the block. I couldn't go around the corner. I couldn't even ride my bike in the street, and everyone had an eye on me. If anything happened, everyone was a community. We had block club. Right now, everyone's so separate. I remember seeing a little girl. She was so close to the street, and I'm glad I was the one who was driving. But, you know, she was close to the edge of the street. I'm like, wait, babe, don't come out into the street. And this lady cussed. When she cursed me out, she called me all the B words and everything. Don't try to tell my child what to do. Meanwhile, she's bent over talking to somebody in the street who's, you know, in the car with her back turned to the little girl. And she's just, she was a toddler. So we need community. So yes, I'm inspired by people like you, people who get up every day, go out into the world and make something happen, even though they have so much stacked against them. So I'm inspired by everyone. I'm inspired by children. I'm inspired by elders. I'm inspired by business owners. I'm inspired by workers. You could find inspiration anywhere you look.
That's right.
Does that answer your question?
Yes. So much needed. So tell us a little bit more about NutraBay, some of the other products that you offer, if you offer services, and how does one connect with you and to benefit from your business?
Absolutely. So I'm thinking about bringing my coaching back. I did do a little coaching and, you know, help people to get closer to their health and wellness goals when it comes to diet, exercise, movement, rest, things of that nature. I do offer a food journal, which is available on Amazon. It's called the NutraBay Food Journal. And that is a way to track all the aforementioned things. And of course, I have the smoothies, and I'm looking to expand my menu so that I can offer other things as well. But more than likely, that's going to come when I get a space I can call my own.
Understood.
I know one on 6 Mile right now for $900 a month.
All right, let's talk.
Yeah. Does it have a kitchen to it?
Remember it had I'll email it to you,
okay,
right? Because it was sent to me, but it's right literally in District 1, right on 6 Mile. And, you know, it's walk up.
Oh my God.
And it had a sink in there, so it has the spot, you know, the space for
to start.
Yes, let's talk.
Yeah. I do want to ask though about do you do events? So say I'm having a girls' night, or say our board meeting. Do you offer that type of quantity for the NutraBay, the smoothies?
I absolutely do. You could email me, or you have my cell phone number, and we can work it out. Let me know the amount of ladies you would like to accommodate, and I'll give you all the flavors, and you tell me what you want. If you want to add ginger, if you want to add flax, anything like that, any extras, and we can make it happen.
You know, I'm thinking about the boss session. The ladies, they would love it.
Oh yeah, that they need that boost.
Boss boost.
Yeah, the boss boost. Boss sessions is inside our mentoring program. It's where we bring the mothers. We got one tonight, right?
Right.
It's called Building Our Sons. So we bring the mothers in and give them tools on how to help raise their boys. Self-care, all of that.
Right.
I have someone I need to connect you all with then, because she actually has a nonprofit, and she helps single mothers who are striving to be business owners. And so I think that would be a great connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We all about that.
Listen.
Yes. Tell us, what would you like our listeners, since you're going live too, what would you like our listeners to know today about this topic in general, about nutrition and wellness, and how and some of the amazing ideas, the jewels that you've dropped today?
Okay, I'll do my best to keep this short. So, nutrition, I know it's very confusing, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. I know that when you go to look up, is spinach good for me, you're going to find, of course, it's good for you, and you're also going to find, of course, it's bad for you. I know that's frustrating. I need you to be encouraged. It's better to eat the plants than to not eat the plants. It's better to cook for yourself when you can. If you can't, get frozen items, because when you get frozen produce, it's easy for you to get good nutrition, if not better than, the nutrition that you get in the stores. And then you're able to keep from wasting it and being even more discouraged, like, oh, I just bought all that spring mix and now it's spoiled. I need you to know that if you don't take care of your body from the inside and you say, oh, my grandmama ate fried chicken every day, she's fine. We're not living in those times. A lot of the food that's out there is not real food. And so you have to take your life into your own hands. Don't believe everything the doctors tell you. No shade to doctors. They're good for saving lives, but they're not good for cultivating healthy lifestyles when they don't know how to treat you without giving you artificial medications. I need you to know those medications come from herbs. They come from the earth. Everything that you see out there that they're treating you with, it comes from Mother Nature. So get back to nature and you will feel better.
Boom, bang. So that right there, because
Our sister just dropped it.
it's taken from a big guy, right? Here I am, a big guy. But I share the story all the time. My mother was a diabetic. I lost my mother to diabetic disease. Back in the day, they used to call it sugar. Sugar diabetes, right? Sugar industry obviously paid to remove the word sugar, and now it's type 2, type 1 diabetes. In that process, we grew up with the Cosmopolitan ice creams, the little half gallons. They used to be stacked in the freezer. So the second freezer in the house had the Cosmopolitan ice cream.
You mean Neapolitan?
Neapolitan, Cosmopolitan. You know what I mean?
Neapolitan ice cream.
Neapolitan. Right. But then, you had your strawberries, you had your vanillas, and all of that. And we even had the ice cream maker in the house, right? Because this was my mother's thing, right? One of her things. And then, as the diabetes set in, you wonder what it was. So, I got my mother to quit smoking, but she was famous for the Pepsis and the Cokes, right? So by the time my mother was 45, all her teeth were gone. Right, so my aunts, and this was a real joke in the family. We used to call them Gumbies, right? And so I did it's absolutely hilarious. My mother made me erase my first comedy tape. It was powerful. It was about everybody. It was funny. I was 14. I could have been the Eddie Murphy. I was 14 years old, right? 14, 15 years
Crushed your dreams.
Crushed it. Told me to erase it, but they played it at the family reunion and went crazy. But the sugar eventually would take her sight, right? And so she couldn't. After a while, she couldn't see. So when you look at her, like, how they had that like gray eye, right? So she had that situation, right? And this is a crazy story. So my mother was going to the eye doctor. The eye doctor wrote on a note that she would do my mother's surgery so my mother could see again. The eye doctor gets murdered. Literally. So what happened was she had a Land Cruiser. I'll never forget this. They carjacked her in Birmingham, and it was a couple. And so the eye doctor gets murdered. So now it's all over the news. My mother is in tears, right? She's not going to get to see her kids no more. So when they go to clean up the office, the note is right there. They contact my mother. My mother gets the surgery. She gets to see her kids for the last time that she passed. Yeah. But I say that because I watched my mother go in. This is how bad sugar is. And then we learned just last week that they put sugar in because they lose the taste as they get as seniors. So they put sugar in macaroni and cheese. I never understood why we had a family reunion or something and they put the sugar in the macaroni and cheese. I'm like, well, who put this? And, everybody like, be quiet. I'm like, I'm not being quiet eating this. This is terrible.
They said, be quiet, Lord.
Right, but we found out last week that seniors put it in there because they lose taste. So they put sugar in their food so they can taste it. Right? So that was an eye-opening thing as well. But my mother so she had her toes, they cut the bottom and take the bone out and seal it back up. So to her, she would have her toes. So I'm big on I know I'm big because I'm big off of chicken, right? And I'm not the greatest eater, right? But I am very cautious about sugar, so I don't really eat ice cream.
So you don't eat that cosmopolitan, huh?
Right. I mess with that cosmopolitan nutrient. Sister Bay, your brother ain't mess with I don't mess with that ice cream, cake, stuff like that. I really have gotten, away from those things, but and it's kept me safe so far, but I know I still got to lose more weight. But in the process, I'm saying this because I literally saw the sugar destroy aunts, uncles, cousins. Like, I saw it up close, personal. Like, 1 minute you this way, and then all of a sudden the sugar kick in, and now you're shooting yourself with these needles and all that. Like, no. You know what I mean? So I was just sharing that story because, like I said, I saw that sugar deteriorate you. Deteriorate your mind. Deteriorate your limbs, your arteries, your veins.
But also, let's make sure that we are talking about those foods that we do need to pour in. Starting with more water. I mean,
Sure.
we were born in and around water.
Sure.
I mean, there's so much value in making sure that we're getting enough water and that we're staying hydrated. I learned on this journey that the lack of hydration, the lack of water will cause confusion. Like, you're not supposed to sign a contract or make a big decision without being hydrated because your body is in crisis mode. It's in survival mode when you're dehydrated. So the priority, your executive functions, those things that make sure that you're a rounded individual are not in operation when you're dehydrated. So you have to make sure that you're staying hydrated. So I think even if we just start there, just increasing the amount of water that we're taking a day. And I know there's a number, which I think that number is amazing, to try to, you're supposed to drink so much of your body weight?
Half your body weight in ounces. But I need everyone to understand, because everyone's not great at drinking water. You get your water from fruits and veggies too. So that's the cheat code. The more plants you eat, the more hydrated you are. They also have electrolytes, because we can drink water, but depending on how we drink it, it can cause us to lose minerals, depending on the type that we drink. So it's important to make sure that we're getting our electrolytes in, and that is actually what helps us hydrate.
Get that water. There's a gallon by my bed. For real. I go at that water.
Yeah. So the point today is to recognize that nutrition is an important part of a family lifestyle. And I think I love the idea that families can prepare food together, that they can sit down and eat together. I mean, we do a lot in our community around food, fellowship around food. And, when you have a meeting, you got to have food there. You got to have some level of refreshment, but it's what you have there, too, that makes a difference. I personally believe in praying over my food, because I believe that we also need to raise the vibration of the foods that we're eating. The ones that may not be already high in vibration, we want to make sure that we are putting positive energy over those things.
The
that
low
we are-
vibrational
What was
plates.
that, Monique? How
Right.
you do that sign?
Right.
So,
Right.
so
And I did read that on the energy scale that canned food is like the lowest in terms of the vibration and frequency foods.
It
Canned
could
food.
be, yeah, canned food. I think that should be like your last choice. Stick with fresh and frozen as much as possible, because when you get into canning, then you get into toxins. You get into more preservatives, more sodium. You get into the aluminum, the bisphenol A, the what they call BPA, that is carcinogenic or cancer causing. So, I mean, you could find BPA free cans. So, I mean, if you, like, for instance, if you're going to cook some beans, if it's the difference between you getting beans and not getting beans, then get the canned beans. But just try to stay with fresh and frozen as much as possible.
Awesome.
that's awesome. So with that being said, we have a goal setting party this Saturday.
Woo, we like setting goals.
Yes, right. And so, unlike the vision party, this year I wanted to do a goal setting party, right? And so I reached out to the man, Terry Bean, who has a way of goal setting.
A formula.
A formula. And he's going to come in. We're here downstairs. And you get a copy of his book and all of that, right? He'll sign some books. I think I'm going to bring a few books, children's books to sign as well. And, yeah, we're going to get it in. We got like 25 spots left. And I think we do need to learn to set goals. And I think a lot of times we say we're going into the business. I don't think I've ever really set goals properly. And so that was another reason why I reached out to him, is to learn how to, set goals properly, because he has a tremendous amount of success. Terry Bean is over the, TEDx Detroit, all of that. So, with him organizing and understanding, he has to be a goal setter to do as much as he has been able to do. So he's coming in, and we're looking forward to that this Saturday. Also,
The convening.
the convening should be at Wayne County Community College. We'll know sometime today, right, if we can pull it off this Saturday for the ladies.
Yep.
But other than that,
And we want you to be there if you come to the convening, especially. So the convening really is around how do we align as organizations, as individuals, when you know that there's something that you're supposed to do. How do you get connected? How do you make sure people are not falling through the gaps? Like, if it's wonderful that we have so many businesses, but how are we aligning those businesses? So if we have a business with Seisha, a business for nutrition, but there's nobody that covers helping people get to the grocery store to get the healthy products, or there's nobody that is giving us an understanding of what those healthy products. Nobody's there to help us prepare those products. Like, these are places and ways that we fall through the gaps. It's like going to a conference and you're all hyped up, you're excited about everything that you learn and that you gain, and then you go home and you're like, okay, well, where do I start? You fall through the gaps. And I think that's where we fall short in our community, is that we don't line up and align, because there are people who are gifted, intelligent in every single area. But if you're not coming together to make sure those areas are covered, then we're missing. We're not winning. We're missing. We have too many spaces in between. So this alignment that we're talking about, we call it the Ready Women Collective. It's not just women, but women who are ready to do something. Maybe you just want to volunteer. Maybe you need to share information, whatever that is. And that looks like, come join us. Let's fill in this gap so we can really restore our families.
Seisha, tell everybody where they can reach you at.
You can reach me at That's 313-454-1738. If you're trying to place a NutriBay order for this Friday, Saturday pickup, you can visit my website, which is nutribay.net. That's NUTRI, like nutrition, and BAE, like someone you love, .net. And then I'm on Instagram at Nutri_Bay. I'm on Facebook as NutriBay. And I also have a Facebook community that's NutriBay Smoothie Fam, like family.
Nice.
Heather?
You can reach me at yourinspiredjourney.com. That's yourinspired with a D, journey.com. You can reach me by phone at 313-759-7855. Again, 313-759-7855.
So, thank you, ladies. We come to the time of the podcast where we sign off. But I want to make it clear how important nutrition really is, right? A couple of years ago, I went in and I had to have stents put in my heart. And at the time, I didn't realize that nothing was wrong. It was a night of Tito's. I had a couple of shots of Tito's and I ate late, which I hadn't been doing for months. And of course, I wake up and get sick and we go to the hospital. Now, mind you, I didn't want to go. After I threw up, I was like, I feel better, right? But of course, I have a bully in my life that literally bullied me into the car and took me, right, to the hospital, right? So we go. Thank God for the bully, right? Because as I'm in there, we go through the process and the doctor's saying your enzymes. A lot of times we don't understand what that means. But he says your enzymes are climbing. And I'm going, really? He's like, yeah, we got to take another test. Like, and I'm in there laughing, talking. I'm talking to the doctors, the nurses, right? Everything I do everywhere I go, right? Hey, hi, you know, doing all of that. And he comes around the corner again. He say, hey, Mr. Man, your enzymes are not coming down, and we're going to check it one more time. And if it don't come down, we're going to, send you to the cath lab. That's how it was explained to me. So, I call one of my mentees' aunts, work at the hospital. I'm like, hey, they talking about the cath lab. She's like, Calvin, if there's something wrong with your heart, you in the best place. I'm going to call over there. And, she did her thing. So, of course, he come back, enzymes up. They put me in a
cath lab.
They take me I'm in the the ambulance and all, right? I get over there. We go through this whole process. I'm still wide awake, laughing, talking like I'm talking to you. They take me in the back. They put these stents in, say I got to have some stents. I had some closure on my arteries. Okay. I'm still oblivious to the process. He comes out. We sitting there, and he goes, Mr. Man, you had a heart attack. I was like, man, cut that out. He was like, no, serious. You had a heart attack? I said, man, there's no way. Like, me and her, we shocked. Like, come on, you got the wrong idea about a heart attack.
Come on, somebody.
Right, you could be sitting here right now and have a heart attack and walk right out of here like nothing happened. You
Or
can
a
have
stroke.
2, 3. You can have 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in the same day and not think nothing about it, nothing, wouldn't even know it. You say, really? Well, this was new to me. So at the point, I'm mad. My point is, take your ass to the doctor and get checked out. My name is Calvin Mann. You can reach me at calvintmann.com. Right? Of course, I'm out here with the boys, the fathers, and the families. And so I really appreciate you for tuning in to Put Your Family First podcast. We're looking forward to some guests in February. We're signing up more people. I got another guest supposed to come on next Monday. I'm waiting on the confirmation. But with that being said, God bless you and encourage me. I'm young. Peace.